Alrighty, well, we're gonna go and check out some updates with the Hasan and Ethan Klein situation. But I wanted to be fair about this one. I wanted to get Hasan's takes on everything that's been said because my last video was platforming just Ethan's view, so I definitely wanted to try and be fair about this and objective. So, let's make sure I got the right video. Yeah, I do. Haha. So, Hasan obviously wanted to go and defend himself, so he committed a whole stream to it. But thank God for Hasan Abi's fan base and their ability to do the shortening of his streams, because, man, I could not stand to watch. What is it? I think he does like 6 hours some days. Like, that's nuts. Like, I should probably just address that. I kind of wanted to do a shorter one today because I'm not sure if this headache's gonna come back. Speaking of, I need to make sure that I'm well hydrated. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. But yeah, let's get to the Hasan stuff. Oh no, what happened? That wasn't good. Okay, that was legit just a weird crash on Streamlabs there. Let me reload this. We're good? Alright. Yeah, we're good.
There has never been a moment in the past year until recently where I was not unimaginably gracious. Okay? This conversation itself is yet another instance, but he just never, gave up on this for some reason. And it's weird. Apparently, you're about to get filled in. Philip DeFranco has thrown his hat in the drama ring, it seems. Ethan Klein's situation got worse. The Onion bought InfoWars, Sydney.
To be fair, I think we all are.
Sweeney Slam.
Because all of these content creators, like, yeah, you get a few hits, and also it gives us the excuse to kind of get out of the news cycle.
Fake women and more.
So. Beautiful bastards. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. You dare.
It's a guy watching a guy watching a guy.
Really dive into the news. We have so much to talk about today. Domestic and international, big, small, political, social, but let's start with some internet controversy news. This has really started blowing up more and more. So let's talk about Ethan Klein and Hasan Piker. They're both big creators in the streaming and podcast space. They're former co-hosts. With this specific situation, it starts and is mainly focused on Ethan Klein, who's facing backlash.
Real quick, this has to be a trip for Hasan, just like watching this be covered as some of the biggest internet news. So, because Philip DeFranco, he reaches like 8 million people.
Yeah. And this time it was over a game that he played on his podcast yesterday.
Today, my friends, we are going to play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're going to play, is it Twitch or is it a terrorist? Let's take a look here, guys. Start.
There's more to the game, but even just that part right there alone, that faced tons of backlash. With a number of people think that it was wrong that the opening image was a side-by-side of Hasan Piker and Osama bin Laden. And in fact, at a later point in the game, you had someone from H3's team, AB, even calling that out.
I don't know who made this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hasan and Osama on the front page. They need
at least if they're going to compare them, I'll guess.
And so with all this, it appears that they were playing a game from a website called twitchorterrorist.com. And to play, you had to read quotes and guess if a Twitch streamer or a terrorist said it. And they all ended up being Twitch streamer quotes, mostly from other creators by the name of like Sneeko and Myron, who've been heavily criticized for anti-
They're not even, for the record, these guys aren't even Twitch streamers, okay? And yes, it is insane. It is insane to just like put actual anti-Semites alongside people who are not anti-Semitic but pro-Palestinian in an effort to be like, see, they're all terrorists. Look at all these guys. I didn't expect you to cover this. I wouldn't have, but Philly D is covering it.
Anti-Semitism in the past for posts like these, which made its way into the game. But also,
yeah, Dan made this site, including all the other sites. Destiny's second in command. Isn't people who are pro-Palestinian just you? No, not Dan from H3 chat. What are you, crazy? No, Dan Saltman, the saltiest mother planet.
Included one post each from Hasan and Frogan, who's another creator Ethan's called out.
Some of this is even above
but
me,
again,
so
most
like
ended up being from creators Sneeko and Myron, so he ended up closing the game by saying,
You're right, though. That game sucks.
It was just not enough variety. It didn't prove anything because all the anti-Semites was just like Myron and Sneeko.
and so all that happens, but then once the clips
Damn, I can't believe that they couldn't find anti-Semitic quotes of me. Perhaps because I'm not an anti-Semite. Damn, why doesn't this have more quotes of Hasan being anti-Semitic?
of Ethan playing the game make their way to Twitter, there was backlash everywhere. With a number of people saying things like Ethan Klein comparing a Muslim anti-war content creator
even in this little bit, he's doing a good job of defending himself against everything that I've even been hearing. So yeah, good.
to
good
Osama
takes.
bin Laden. He
Good
got
job,
other
Pass.
Muslim and Jewish content creators banned for calling Sabra hummus the lowest tier commercial hummus because a lot of Israelis eat it. What the actual hell? As well as Islamophobia on full display. And if Ethan Klein actually cared about anti-Semitism instead of merely feeling disrespected,
Noah Colwyn? Whoa! Whoa! I gotta text my mans. Be like, yo, you made it, Noah. You made it on the Philly D. You just got filled in. Or you're doing the filling in yourself. That's crazy. That's crazy. If Ethan Klein actually cared about anti-Semitism instead of merely feeling disrespected, he would consider what it means to represent Jewish people by being a nonstop whiny bigot.
he would consider what it means to represent Jewish people by being a non-stop whiny
He's
bigot.
gonna
Even
read the
had
whole
some
thing.
tagging YouTube social accounts to say that they're platforming racism and hate. And we even saw Hasan Piker himself responding, saying, my former podcast co-host misunderstood me when I said in America that anti-Semitism is institutionally unacceptable, but Islamophobia is permitted if not encouraged. Yesterday, he proved my point. While that received a lot of support, you also had some people responding to Hasan.
Yeah. How is this Islamophobic? Hasan and his friends repeat terrorist talking points. It has nothing to do with Islam. Hasan, the game is funny. All you and your friends' talking points are indistinguishable from actual terrorists. In what way can you say Islamophobia is permitted unless you believe all Muslims are terrorists? These are literally 2003. We're back in 2003.
Yeah, it does
These are
feel
the
like that.
most 2003 ass. Please, I need you to see one of the quotes. Please, you'll never guess who it is. The truth is that after several decades of neoliberalism, the rich are becoming increasingly richer while the poor are both more numerous and increasingly poorer.
Was that Castro? I mean,
That
was Castro. That was a picture of Castro.
Terrorist Lumafeo. How can you not see everyone and Ethan in particular is talking about? Guys, anyway, let's continue.
By
Let's just
defending
continue.
Ethan in the game and accusing
You can tell that this has really been. This sucks, man. This is the part that I feel bad about. Like, just as a dude, where I'm like, oh, I hate to see a friendship break up, and just there's a lot of sadness to come out of this.
critics of misrepresenting it. But again, there was also a fair share of people echoing what Hasan said, with some also noting that this came after Ethan went on his Instagram stories to call out Hasan and accuse him of only pretending to care about anti-Semitism. And Ethan ended up responding to
Which is crazy, by the way. Like, that was also crazy. Only pretending to care about anti-Semitism is wild. Like,
Yeah.
I've stood by this man side by side, and we've dunked on anti-Semites together. You know what I mean? And anti-Semitism together. Like, what the is going on? Read his post is psychotic. I haven't even read any of this. Myron is an easy dunk. He makes it incredibly easy to virtue signal that you are against anti-Semitism. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would listen to his Jewish friend when he expressed his genuine concern for anti-Semitism festering in his own community. First of all, friend is wild. That's a that's a wild thing to just drop in there after like a month of crash out post after crash out post.
It's been a lot.
demanding that an adpocalypse happen on Twitch because Twitch is housing Klansmen and Nazis, and that I am like an anti-Semite. That's wild to be like, oh, but I'm just your friend, your Jewish friend, which is also additionally crazy considering that I have a ton of Jewish friends. None of them agree with Ethan. What the f? That's
He just did. Really? I mean,
insane.
everybody always calls everybody else out when they do it. It's like, oh, I got a black friend. Well, he did the thing.
And we literally insta-ban anti-Semitism in this community. Like, I personally do it regularly. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would stop purity testing every Jew based on Zionist, anti-Zionist, a term that has lost all meaning. 90% of Jews globally would be considered a Zionist, a term that encapsulates both religious supremacists who believe they have a mandate from God to settle in the West Bank, and every secular Reform Jew in the world who thinks Israel should continue to exist. I do not purity test every Jew based on Zionist, anti-Zionist. That is insane. I've not only never done that, I don't know why the f he's even saying that I do that. What? And for the record,
Yeah. So I would love to see the videos where they actually have like a compilation of Hasan saying this shit, because everything that they've been saying, he said. Yeah.
Zionism has not lost its meaning. If it did, I don't know why you would say that like 90% of Jews globally are considered Zionists, which I also disagree with as well. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would not hand wave away blatant Jew hatred from his friend Frogan. He would, yeah, I know. I should I should put Frogan in a dunk tank for doing the tier list that Raffi and themselves like put on the Arabs podcast. That was perfectly fine, and everybody understood exactly what it was. Mad that Trump won, baby boy. Brother, you are probably, alongside myself, going to die of polio, and you're over here celebrating that as an accomplishment. What a stupid thing to get excited about. Like, we're all going to die of diseases that are preventable.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Trump gave me 200 RP to vote for him. What? Dying from... Hasan cared about blatant Jew hatred from his actual friend Frogan, who would not platform uncritically a terrorist-affiliated militant who flags a curse upon the Jews, nor would he play Houthi propaganda uncritically to his audience who fly the same flag. He would not call... You know what's really funny? I've talked about the Houthis banner multiple times.
Again, Ethan going like really hard.
Another part of this process that is, of course, always not repeated. But regardless, let's continue. He would not call Hasan Nasrallah a brilliant man or say he has no problem with Hezbollah, a man in his organization that has explicitly called for the genocide of Jews. Hasan, if you cared, you would read this instead of laughing about how crazy I am based on a Chatter's brain dead summary of my post. I like that I addressed all of these talking points a million times over, but, you know, yeah, there it is. I read it, and it still sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? Contextualizing and offering analysis to how certain non-government organizations exist is not a de facto carte blanche defense of the way that they exist or the things that they do.
I did have a feeling that some of that was being clipped because I couldn't find this, like the streams with the full context that Ethan was using.
Okay, that's it. Ethan doesn't know these groups of the region. Their politics are as he's just like whatever. Bro, it's not a summary. You look at, it's not even a summary. You look at screenshots. What? What? He's saying, read this. And I am. Criticizing Ethan saying
it's a direct call out.
Ethan saying you look at summary of chatters. What? I'm confused. Ethan literally looks for clips in the Destiny Reddit. Yeah, I know. I like that a lot of Ethan's, well-sourced criticisms. A lot of Ethan's well-sourced criticisms directly come from the Destiny subreddit that he's like scoured, right? Straightforwardly. And that is actually causing valid concerns. But considering that the Destiny subreddit is, routinely scouring my stream, I'm very familiar with the talking points. So, of course, I don't even have to see it to know exactly where these valid concerns
makes me think from. Like, is 4chan that
because
bad?
I've addressed it a million times over. I address it every single day. But let's continue.
Stories to call out Hasan and accuse him of only pretending to care about anti-Semitism.
Yeah, Myron's the
Ethan ended up responding.
Why is Hasan in a game called Twitch or Terrorist? Because he's accused of supporting terrorism by Ethan.
Yeah.
The subreddit that's called the Dalaban, or the Twitter comms group that's called the Dalaban or the Dezbollah. It's great. It's good stuff. Yeah, you stand accused. That is the beginning and end of this analysis. There are plenty of quotes on the site from non-Muslims. I didn't make the site. I opened it for like 2 minutes and mostly talked about how dumb it is. We immediately commented on how dumb the Osama versus Hasan comparison is. We, unless you speak of French here, is carrying a lot of the burden. I think it was AB who commented on how bad it was, and you chose to continue, but what do I know? And this game, for the record, was Islamophobic from the jump. The idea that like all of these pro-Palestinian content creators are like automatically terrorists, like it's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, bundling actual anti-Semites like Myron and Sneeko with people like myself, also very weird.
Well, to be fair, you could also play that game with Christian extremists.
Very weird, right? And slapping terrorism as a designation on it.
Be fair
also
about this.
Very weird. A lot of other content creators on this website, Twitch, the one that is dangerously anti-Semitic, according to Ethan. That a lot of content creators, including Asmongold, have played this game. Why didn't I sharp about it then? Because what the am I supposed to do? I can't do anything about it, okay? Islamophobia is completely permitted. It's permissible. That's just the truth. Both bigotries, anti-Semitism, okay, and Islamophobia are unacceptable. They're unacceptable. That's it. And I will never accept it. And I always combat it. And I always have. And I always will.
Yeah, but I don't know Twitch's TOS as well as YouTube's, but I'm pretty sure that they combat,
okay. But the way
hate speech the same way, don't they?
Institutions, organizations, the way they treat Islamophobia,
I can't really speak to it, but
versus anti-Semitism is different.
Great.
Islamophobia is broadly accepted. Now, the reason why it is because in the post 9/11 universe, America had to do a whole bunch of social conditioning to get people primed to go and destroy the Middle East. Anyway, I closed out 2 minutes, said the game was done because it just keeps quoting Sneeko and Myron, which doesn't prove anything. We saw why he quit the game. I don't think it was after 2 minutes. He intentionally, quote, retweets someone that misrepresents, lies about what's in the video, and even calls me Islamophobic or something I didn't even do. Dude, come on, man. Come on. Like, the Islamophobia stuff is not even new. Like, holy shit. It was always cringe. It was like something that I tried to communicate to him even, way back when he was like doing if you're a gay sex worker, you'd get thrown off the roofs in Gaza, to like Muslim people on the timeline, like, get out of here. Like, this is not like a newfound thing here. Come on. What is this? Here's you explaining it. That is outright hostile towards Muslims and outright hostile towards Palestinians from the actual state, right? There's anti-Semitism. This is absolutely true. Anti-Semitism is a gross hate crime. It is completely unacceptable. You and I are in agreement on this. I've combated anti-Semitism nonstop for the past 10 years.
That there's any people that hear that and they think, you know what, that means no, we got to get rid of all the Israelis. Do you think there's anyone that believes that?
That we have to get rid of all of the Israeli Jews in that area?
From the river
of
to
course,
the sea.
I'm sure. Yeah,
And so,
assholes
there are
everywhere.
anti-Semites. There are anti-Semites in the pro-Palestinian movement.
Do you think that it could be potentially misconstrued?
Can it be potentially misconstrued? Absolutely. Anything can be misconstrued.
So
Any slogan can be misconstrued.
In consideration of all these things, if it can be misconstrued, if it is believed by people to mean it that way, then I don't think Jews are outside of their right to say, hey, this phraseology.
The phrase that we're talking about is from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, by the way. I love HG, but going hard on you for semantics when there are literally Nazis out and about is a bit cooked. I know. And while I call out the literal Nazis that are out and about, he turns around and says, oh, that's not sufficient. You also have to recognize that I'm right and you're wrong and apologize for hurting my feelings, even though there has never been a moment in the past year until recently where I was not unimaginably gracious.
Nazi slur next.
This conversation itself is yet another instance where I am slowly walking him through like a baby, okay? Walking him step by step to understand something by drawing.
To respond to that, I don't think they're gonna make Nazi a slur, but I do think that it shouldn't be used as hyperbolically as it's been used lately, where it's just like everybody who, if you don't agree with somebody, it just kind of seems like sometimes somebody will just be like, whoa, you're a Nazi. I mean, again, that's hyperbolic in itself, but it's kind of what I mean.
Similar analogs to things that he already recognizes. He's pro Black Lives Matter. He knows what people that say all lives matter sound like and look like and what they actually mean. Okay, people misconstrue Black Lives Matter. There's an example I used literally last year, okay? But he just never, gave up on this for some reason. And it's weird. It's weird because, like, we've had these conversations. He knows what my position is. We've had them publicly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll be honest, like watching Ethan's last video about this, that's why it was a little weird to me, because I had been watching The Leftovers and it just seemed like they had talked about this before.
Makes me uncomfortable.
The conversation revolves around
I think it should be banned.
Palestinians,
kind
which
of Orwellian.
Muslims are a minority group in general. Palestinians, an even
language is
smaller
stupid.
minority group. Against.
If it's if we're talking TOS, like from a platform, I don't know. That's on kind of the platform, but just in general, like when you say banning words, are we talking about on Twitch?
Zionists specifically Zionists who are maintaining the violent nature of the apartheid state in Israel. So in that structure, there are significantly more Zionists in America than there are Zionist Jews, and then there are anti-Zionist Jews. Zionist and anti-Zionist Jews are marginal because of the number of Jews in general on the planet, right?
How
The
did
much
Ethan just
larger
forget this?
conversation
Like,
is being had between Palestinian activists, which feature
well thought out.
anti-Zionist Jews and anti-Zionists alike, some of which are anti-Semitic. I'm not going to say that they're not, okay? Versus the much broader, much larger Zionist community.
I just
that
wish
is
she goes to
comprised
irrelevance.
almost entirely of Zionist evangelicals, Zionist Christians in general. That's the conversation
at
that's
what-
being
at
had
what
about
point?
the state of Israel. You can criticize Saudi Arabia and do it from an Islamophobic perspective, but many people are
what
never going to
point?
turn around and say you're being Islamophobic when you criticize Saudi Arabia.
Actually, to
But
your
when you
point about
criticize
going to
Israel,
irrelevance, I thought
because
all Twitch was going to go to
foreign
irrelevance
ministry
at some
has,
point,
maintained
like
its
sooner,
position and its
but
posture for a very long
we are.
time, propped up by the likes of the ADL. This conflation is the immediate counter, and I think it's cynically deployed. In the grand scheme of things, throughout the history of Palestinian emancipation, which I will
Yeah, right, that's
reaffirm
a
my
good point.
support for, I do believe it is just and I believe it is moral. Throughout that history, Hamas is but a mere blip. Hamas is but a mere blip, and even to this day is not. Has never reached broad popularity. The mantra itself predated Hamas and will continue to exist as long as there is an occupation. So having a conversation about the optics of
Listen,
a slogan
I'm
when
not saying-
11,000 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered by that same state is ridiculous to me. I think
not fair.
it's
This
uncharitable.
characterization is super unfair. I mean, you're
Why?
making it sound like I'm a. The concern for it has nothing to do with what the Israeli government is doing, the
Ethan
ethnic
is
cleansing and murdering
really
of
defensive.
Palestinians. It's got nothing to do with that. Invoking that is not fair. 57% of Gazans, by the way, and I'm not criticizing them. I understand why people would support Hamas during all this and who are in Gaza, but you say that, I mean, they have.
Yes, in 2017,
they have white support in the
Hamas
West Bank
changed its
and-
charter
and
in order to
Gaza.
gain international recognition.
It has wide support in Gaza and the West
In
Bank.
2017,
So,
Hamas
so
changed
you're
its
saying-
charter in order to maintain its civil
check my
governance
phone.
factions and also gain international
Oh, no.
recognition,
I cracked my
as
screen.
had prior terror cells like the ones that you mentioned that Ben Shapiro still considers a terrorist, like Yasser Arafat, as they try to do the exact same thing. You might not believe them. I do think that there are certainly still anti-Semitic
Since
people
all this fucking-
inside of Hamas, of course, but ultimately,
all of them?
Palestinian people saying that yeah, no, he's like not all of them. That they
You
support
think there's
violent
you think there's
emancipation.
Hamas people that are secular and cool and don't hate Jews?
Do I think there are Hamas militants? Absolutely. Yes,
No, no.
100%.
No, that's not what I asked. I said, do you think there's Hamas?
Yeah, I do. I do believe that 100%. Yes.
People that are like chill and secular.
Like this conversation, the way he's asking this question is also, for the record,
Like
the way
coded?
he's asking this question is like specifically to incite. When you have a conversation, when you have an argument with someone, and I think like a lot of people from marginalized backgrounds understand this. I'm not saying I am, okay? I'm white. But when you have a conversation with someone who is just there to try to maybe not really understand fully your position, but instead hit you with some okay? You are not just having a conversation with this other person, you're having a conversation with the entire world, okay? So you have to remember how everyone treats certain words and everyone treats certain.
I've never been a fan of Hasan either, but I think he actually has shown a fair amount of restraint and some class. He clearly has some empathy for Ethan because he seems to be spiraling a bit. I agree with that.
Concepts. Everyone looks at certain concepts and takes it for granted. Okay? So when someone, like, this is the reason why I can have a long discussion about the political designation of terrorism, right?
Yeah.
And I have many times over. The IRA, the FLN,
He is consistent in his positions. I'll give
Nelson
him that.
Mandela's party, MEK specifically, or not MEK, the ANC, all considered umquanto or umquante. Is that how you say it? Like the spear, including the ANC, but even its more militant factions, were all designated as terror groups. Okay? They were all designated as terror groups. Were designated as terrorist groups while they were specifically engaging in an emancipatory struggle. But that conversation doesn't matter in this process. Okay.
I mean, that's where a lot of the 1776 crowd comes from with their whole like take on everything. They're like, oh, technically we would have been classified as terrorists in 1776.
Okay. Because when someone goes, you're terrorists, you're supporting terrorists, you sound exactly like terrorists, a lot of people, especially when you fit the bill, if you have a scary sounding name, a lot of people are going to write you off and go, oh, well, that makes sense. So you have to deal with that as well in this conversation.
And they don't hate Jews.
Oh, 100%. Well, yeah, you can yell at me all day for that. I 100,000% believe it. There are 18, 19-year-olds. They don't know anything except bombs being blown up in their heads. That is simply a means of violent retaliation. I don't think people operate on being bad and being good. I think people operate on, holy, there's a bomb blowing up in my face that killed my family. I hate this state, and I'm going to join whichever faction will allow me to continue fighting against this state.
I mean, we all had this understanding back like during Iraq. Like that was the whole like purpose of us doing our protests, was just kind of going, hey, we're creating the new generation. Like, what are you doing?
Not every single person is like motivated.
Well, that was just a small part of our argument, but it was part of our argument.
By like cleansing every Jewish person in Israel. If that was the case, they would not have tried to make a. They would not have tried. Okay, if that was the case, they would not have tried to change their charter and become more. And recenter their posturing so that they can get international recognition. Whether it was going to happen or not is one other thing.
The original one was like insane.
Yeah,
and who the
I agree. Anyway, yeah. So we had this conversation already. It's so insane to see this jump from basically a civil conversation to Hasan as Osama bin Laden. But yeah, remember all the debate bros that love the spirit of debate, love the spirit of battle. Their takeaway from this, which was me being as gentle as possible, talking to a friend who I fear was experiencing some level of cognitive dissonance, was that I made him cry. Okay? In that same conversation at the time, he also plugged Teddy Fresh in between when I walked away. Okay? No, friend at the time. Chatter, okay. Calm down.
Don't know that.
That was weird. My point is, the people that, the people basically looked at this and went, well, Ethan didn't make a lot of great points here, so we're just going to talk about how Hasan was a big meanie to him.
To all this backlash himself, writing, question, why is Hasan in a game called Twitch or Terrorist? Answer, because he is accused of supporting terrorism. That is the beginning and end of this analysis. Arguing that there were plenty of quotes on the site that came from non-Muslims and that he didn't even make the site himself, he only played the game on it for a few minutes. And then also saying Hasan's post about the situation was misleading and saying Hasan was accusing him of being Islamophobic for things he didn't even do. With
that's the funniest part about it is like, I don't know who Ethan is going to convince that he's not being Islamophobic when I think, this is not a conversation that has taken that much space in this process, but like, come on, dude. Like, okay. I mean, the community that made that website is Destiny's community. And Destiny is an open Islamophobe. He's like proud of it.
Yeah, now he is. I mean, yeah.
Like they moved past that.
Totally took the mask off and just went,
no, I am.
Like he just said it.
Openly say that they are. They're like, oh, they're criticizing a religion. I'm against all religions. It wasn't Dan who made it, but a Destiny Discord, Decuck Discord mod. What is this? Sick stuff out there.
Front page. They need
I can't imagine a Destiny Discord. Oy.
What is this?
What's that place like? Crap. I fell off.
Here's some emails, an example template. It's preferred if you deviate from it as much as possible. Subject, urgent concern regarding upcoming appearance with Hasan Piker, and then a whole bunch of emails. Dear CNN, I'm writing to bring an urgent concern to your attention regarding an upcoming appearance scheduled with Hasan Piker. It has come to my attention that Hasan Piker is known for promoting anti-Semitic views and expressing support for terrorism-related activities. Oh, bro, please get a job, brother. Get a job, dog. That's crazy. They have brigading email templates, man. They had one for the DNC execs. Oh yeah, there was another. Hold on. There was another thing. I remember. What was it? There was that JSTLK guy who was like literally sending fake it to the DNC. This is probably what they sent to USC
I heard
too,
about
right?
that.
Yeah. 27,000 emails to the USC deans to try to stop me from speaking on campus. The box text is code to spam email. They're using
okay. Yeah,
bots.
I thought it was an organization.
Yeah. Are they even trying to combat anti-Semitism while they accuse you of anti-Semitism? No, they don't. They're not combating anti-Semitism. If they were, they would be combating themselves. I like that they also, these guys claim they're not obsessed with you. They have an entire Discord server dedicated to this. But also, I remember when I was at the DNC.
I just literally pictured Destiny's face right when he said that.
JSTLK, one of Destiny's orbiters, was openly admitting that he was sending fake messages and shit that they concocted specifically to the DNC. And they're like, I don't give a that it's fake. Who cares? Like, just, cause some commotion. Oh, here it is. This is the one. I mean,
that's a lot of work just to
Could you imagine? Hold on.
Protest.
Okay. Nobody's watching this, okay? But we need this psyop, okay? I need somebody to go and show, all right? Like text messages with somebody at the we need to fake text messages, okay? From a DGGer to the DNC that's just saying like, hey, Hasan Piker was saying this at the DNC. Okay, we don't actually need it doesn't need to be real. Just needs to be convincing fake DMs, okay? Of you DMing somebody at the DNC.
Okay.
Go to LinkedIn, find somebody who could make decisions, okay? Fake DMs with them, okay?
Okay.
Fake the DMs of you saying, here's the clip of him saying this shit, all right? Here's the clip of him. No. It's a joke, guys. We don't actually, I'm saying that just to with them, okay? So you fake the DMs. You fake the DMs of you reporting his Israel clip, his rudeness to the hostages, to the DNC, and them saying, oh, maybe it's not appropriate, he's here the next day.
Wait, so they weren't even going based off audio
when
clips?
He's going to leave,
what?
Also say, hey, I'm watching his stream, you didn't take his press credentials away, okay?
Yeah, this is like that had already happened at this point.
DMs?
And he was like trying to meme, like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make like fake messages back and forth to have
so
a fun little, to take credit for it, basically.
Make it believable. Make it believable.
I wish I lived rent
and
free.
we'll tweet it out.
Someone's
all right?
the way that Hasan does. Yeah.
I'm telling you
what?
that this will actually,
it's
will
admirable.
make him.
I kind of like strive to have that quality myself. But.
Look at the level of obsession, dude. Why would you want to stream this, dude? It's unbelievable the level of. So they did get you kicked out? No, they didn't.
No.
They wanted to take. They wanted to take ownership over it, to be like, we did it. We were the ones who got him kicked out or whatever.
Reporting it. Well, maybe, okay? I'm just saying that...
this person's username on Kick is Hasan Abi. Like, that's psychotic, man.
If we have these things and somebody posts them...
Does he not have his own name on Kick? I mean...
Okay, you need somebody posting it to... What you need...
I can
maybe this is
understand
what
why.
you mean, okay? Tom Pinion, ex-girlfriend. Maybe this is what you mean. Is we need somebody... I will retweet this, but it'll be somebody who posts it in the community and says, look...
Bro, this is literally just like maximum stalker Well, just a reminder
really
that this dude straight up said that it was up his real life experiences, that he couldn't stop himself from saying the N-word in and around like normal people. They had a long back and forth about like the ethics of saying the N-word and how it was actually ruining his life because he just kept accidentally having to say it and didn't want to in the real world, even though he was perfectly fine saying it online, and he did in that conversation.
Look, I got Hasan kicked out from the DNC, okay?
This is
and
on
then
Kick, though, right?
I'll retweet it and I'll say, holy shit, this is hilarious, okay? I'm telling you, it'll be...
Kick's lack of TOS is insane.
It will be very funny. Think Tom will cover this? Which Tom? Turkey Tom? Maybe Turkey Tom.
Yeah, they have like all of their orbiters too that are like in the YouTube commentary sphere that are Keemstar aligned, that will just like lap up any kind of like anti-Hasan and cover it with the utmost sincerity. Like, this is the most important thing that has happened.
I think he was covering some other Hasan stuff on Twitter. I need to start using Twitter again. I haven't been using it enough. But I'm just telling you that this would be so funny. You still want the clip of Hasan fighting with a pro? I do, yes. So I will watch that in a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is my true passion in life, is just A-logging Hasan being unhinged, okay? I wasn't sure I wanted to...
Wow,
listen, I get a
that
little
comment
sad
about him
streaming
being
sometimes. I'm like, why am
rent-free?
I doing this?
Holy
and then we
crap.
get to watch some Hasan content, and I remember that...
Yeah, see, I already knew about like the people that like clip Hasan show. That's where I got this clip, was from one of his fans. But like people like this, where they have channels almost devoted to hating him. Holy
This
crap,
is my
that's
passion,
commitment.
okay?
Oh man. I'm telling you right now, brother. When I say this shit is insane, okay? When I say this shit is like
Wow.
legitimately sad,
Funny.
this is what I mean.
You still want the clip of
I don't know,
Hasan
from
fighting?
the outside looking in, it's hilarious. But man, to see how like just utterly serious people are taking
With a
this.
pro, I do, yes. So I will watch that in
Wow.
a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is my true passion in life, is just A-logging Hasan being unhinged, okay?
What
I
does A-logging
Yeah.
mean? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, what? Yeah,
wasn't sure I wanted to... Listen, I get a little sad streaming sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? And then we get to watch some Hasan content, and I remember that this is my passion, okay?
Is a
This is
4chan
where I want to
term?
be. This is everything I want in life, is right here, right now. All right?
Okay.
Bro.
Spreadsheet-based
This-
program.
A term used to describe one's expressing disproportionate levels of hatred for someone, often including wishing them physical harm, usually for perceived crimes, in air quotes, that they are guilty, in air quotes, of. The question I have always is like, why would you reveal that? You know what I mean? If like that is your legitimate point of view, why would you ever reveal that? Like, how hugboxed are you? How echo chambered are you into thinking that like, nah, this is fire. Like,
Do they have real people in their lives?
I'm going
that
to admit to
say,
every
"Hey,
single
maybe
person
not."
that's watching right now that I would probably myself if it wasn't for the fact that I have a hyper fixation on a content creator who didn't even know I existed until this very
come
moment.
on,
From
this is
4chan
hilarious.
site, A-logging is a term used to describe the act of overplaying or exaggerating the negative traits of someone lulzy at irrational levels. What's so shocking about this,
Okay.
incredibly...
I kind of get that, because like you can, like, he's definitely got it. I would say Destiny has it, but Destiny kind of breaks that on himself, especially lately.
incredibly pathetic
4chan turned this dude as the
of
winner.
someone voluntarily revealing that they are basically not fully human. You know, they've just lost their humanity in this
I
process.
don't know. After now seeing
they're
what
simply an
like, you can get
instrument
away with on Kick,
of
holy
another
crap!
content creator's will, okay, what's so crazy about it is that it has not worked. So I think like in that process, they just get even more angry. That's what's so crazy about it. I feel bad for them too, chatter. That's not even a joke. I do. Might be weird to say this, but this makes me feel bad for him, them. I agree. I do too. They'll never believe me when I say this, but yeah, I do. Like, doing this stuff is crazy. Here's some recent articles. A congressional letter from Congressman Ruchi Torres is discussing Hasan Piker's views. If you would like any additional details, specific information about this content creator's past statements and affiliations, like they're like, oh, we found a new way to relive the glory days of Gamergate, is what these guys are doing. To be
God, it's
continued.
what
What is
yeah,
this?
that's
Okay,
what
within
it
minutes,
feels
folks.
like.
I need someone to find clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. This might have some helpful things from the article. Biden shouldn't expect any little support Hasan Piker offered last time. They scour. They're probably in
That's
here
about
watching right
they're farming out. What?
now, by the way. Like a couple thousand of them. Definitely in here. Right now.
Hell?
Very excited at the prospect of, you know, getting noticed. And apparently, I guess, like, what, Ethan was DMing this guy? I'm sure I could find something about that. I'm not back to digging for stuff until Friday. Twitch bans Israel. That's the name in the Discord server. I'm sure I could find something about that. And Chair Stream gotta wait now. Okay, within minutes, folks, I need to find some clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting.
Chair
Give me what you
Stream.
can. On Wednesday's
some of us
episode,
gotta
Ethan
pee, you
reviewed
know?
several clips of
And
Hasan's
some of us
content.
don't have a weight, like a
Several times throughout the
weight
episode,
screen or whatever.
he started texting with someone, and it
That's
appears
Riku
they were sending
Gamergate.
him
Yeah, I
links.
mean, it really does.
What the f-
and influence he had on them.
I mean, Comicsgate 2.0 is like, it's starting to make its resurgence. I can already feel it, man.
Was
like with the new Batman and Superman that just came out, they're starting to do the same shit.
Oh. Could be wrong. And maybe I
haven't heard that from him.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen so many clips. I've seen so many clips.
I'll pull them.
Sorry, I'm catching up on.
Sounds like Ethan needs clips of Hasan encouraging people not to vote.
Something.
Again, the fact that he was farming that, like, what?
He's actually saying.
Here, I don't know what that. Pull this video up. I don't know if it's good or not.
It's the Sprigs guy. Ethan Klein was messaging. The Sprigs guy made the logo for that site. I heard Reddit nerds echoing this talking point. Yeah, I mean, Reddit is very...
Real quick, so my mom, she saw I was live, she popped in, and she just texted me. She's like, what the hell is this? I couldn't watch it. She's like, how do you watch that?
Reddit is endlessly brigadeable.
Love you, Mom.
There's not much you can do, especially if it's like, if you're brigading in a pro-Israel kind of way. Holy shit. Go look at World News, you know what I mean? They use bots to scrape every single message from Twitch chat and Discord. They have guides on their sites on how to download the VODs to scrape the logs and clip out of context.
I had no idea that was a thing, but that makes so much sense.
That is the reason why I originally made the VODs. That is the reason why I originally paywalled the VODs for subscriptions. Because I was like, if you're going to do all that, might as well give me some money
I've
for
gotten.
it. But a lot of people in my community were like, well, I rely on the VODs to keep up. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it. It's all good. Maybe it's time to get some restraining orders. There is nothing you can do to cyber harassment. There's nothing you can do about it. There is no apt legislation to stop something like this from happening. No. Just so you understand. It does not exist.
You just have to have thick skin.
Yeah, they have a hustler you for basically slandering me. I think it's time for their Discord to get nuked. Yeah, I don't know why Discord allows them to do this kind of insane brigading and harassment campaigns. I think Ethan realized that the hate D community has for you is so unhinged, so he's afraid to admit using them to further his own campaign. It seems like even Ethan wants to not hurt his credible attacks on you and admit he's using that community to find avenues to attack you. Yeah, well, I think part of that is, I don't know why Discord allows that kind of to fly, but so does Reddit, really. Oh my God, you called it? Let's go.
Yeah, Reddit. Man. Reddit's gone back to
now.
Like we've been talking about 4chan. Man, we're getting close to that day.
From Destiny's community, 2 white millionaires argue. What? Destiny's mods urgently ask for a clip of Hasan discouraging people from voting. 3:55 p.m. Pacific. Someone sends the Destiny mod this post. Back to the H3 podcast a few minutes later.
This week of the election or something.
This one's recent. Let's see what this one is. What this fucking
I like that the crew's like, come on, let's speak of the election, please. And he's like, no, we have to speak on Hasan, who does vote for sure, and tells people not to vote. 3:57 p.m. PST. Look at the copy on the bottom left of the screen.
And all the efforts
at this point, right?
Oh, 2 white millionaires argue that voting. Oh yeah, it's directly from Reddit.
I mean, that is a factual statement.
Wow, what a crazy coincidence. Surely that didn't happen again, right?
No stone unturned here.
Dude, the answer is here. The proof is right here in the pudding, and we're about to taste the pudding. Can you send... I just sent another clip.
Okay, within minutes from the article... Wait, this is the same one. Destiny's mod requests examples of Hasan discouraging people from voting again at 4:06. Okay, within minutes, I need to find some clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. Someone provides a clip titled, Hasan is asked when he will endorse Kamala. By the way, I'm willing to bet that that's probably a gray name sock account that was also asking that too.
Here's another one I got. While you guys look for that.
Fighting for a brighter future may be hard work.
Again, look at the title of the video on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, just I mean, post-election observation. She's nowhere near as insufferable to listen to Hillary like post-election. Oh my God, hearing Hillary's voice after she lost the election. Oh my God.
Anthem on Gaza. By the way, in that clip, you want to know what's funny? I think in that clip, I literally talk about how if Kamala Harris actually changes trajectory on Gaza, I would start my door knocking operation tomorrow. That very same clip that they're using. Ethan is in direct contact with people who are creating these websites, doxing, and sending mass emails. It was wild. Ethan kept looking for a video of you encouraging not to vote. When it didn't work, he would try to find another one, 3 different videos. Yeah. And it's ironic because I think the day prior to that, prior to the election, I quite literally voted on stream, and I have always urged people to vote.
Wait,
always.
you can do that?
Ethan is the kind of guy that if he hates you, he really hates you, and given enough time, he can convince himself to hate anyone and anything.
I took out my phone once and they got on me. They were just like, you can't do that.
My point is,
but I'm looking at my candidate.
I hope that Ethan can, maybe take a step back from this stuff. And it's not because I'm like genuinely fearful that he is exposing my secret anti-Semitism or something that he's going to assume I'm saying. I wish him well. Just like I wish all of those other haters well, you know what I mean? Including that one guy who's like, my entire life's purpose is to basically, what is it? A-logging Hasan? I want everyone to be healthy.
That's the word
I want
of the
everyone
day.
to have a good life. Okay? Regardless. I guess that's the difference. This even
I like that
includes
way better
Destiny,
than rent-free.
by the way.
A-logging.
Like, I think that he would be an infinitely happier person if he didn't constantly get in his own way. Right? Like, for example,
and he really does.
I'm gonna show you my attitude, and then I'm gonna show you.
He always does like these cyclical arguments, and then he just brings himself back around. That's why I think he's been doing his own show, just like putting it out there into the ether, and that's also why people are just like, dude, what the fuck?
Do you really think Hasan and Mike from
Right?
PA should?
Why would
themselves?
Ethan do that on stream? It's just
would.
toxic.
Yes,
exactly.
Do you think that's at all a harmful statement to make that goes against, I don't know, just objective morality?
No, I think their deaths would make the world a safer place for more people.
Fuck Destiny. Holy shit.
Is like what you said, they make money out of this outside the pleasure they get of this.
Okay,
yeah.
Hadn't heard that. It's kind of weird when you can, people have read his quotes, but actually hearing them in context.
Like, you have a kid, man. You have a child. Like,
What
go
the
take care of
hell,
your kid. This is obviously not good for you. Like, why? Why are you
had that same
festering
opinion.
in your own anger and resentment and envy? The drama is definitely profitable. I think that's
Objective
a key point around this
morality,
stuff, for sure. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the problem. While the drama is
wouldn't Destiny be the first one to debate objective morality? Like, come on.
profitable, okay? While the drama is profitable, and I'm sure Asmongold is going to cover what Destiny said here about me and Mike from PA anytime, any day. I'm waiting on it. I'm sure when Asmongold catches wind of this clip, he's going to be very upset, and he's going to denounce Destiny and be like, we got to stop that. Just like, the thing I was trying to say is that while this right here, okay, is I mean, and I don't for the record, while this right here might be profitable, okay, it's robbing you of your soul, okay? This level of hatred and toxicity, unironically, and not just for Destiny himself, but for his entire community, is unhealthy. Yeah. This level of pathological obsession is unhealthy. I mean, straight up, working so hard.
I can just speak to myself, like how quickly they jump into my chats or my my comments, and it's brutal, man. I thought Trumpers were bad. The Destiny fans are probably the meanest.
Hard to tear someone down may get you money in the short term, but it's corrosive. Absolutely, dude. Do you lost the debate to Mike on the most basic shit of all time like 6 years ago and still holds on to this anger? Yeah.
That's true.
The technique is common, okay? If he feels embarrassed or slighted by you,
makes so much sense.
And it hurts his like narcissistic ego.
Well, look at the way that Tucker Carlson still holds on to the Jon Stewart debate. Like, that kind of makes sense.
He will never let you forget
him personally and professionally.
He will never let you forget it, and he will make your life living hell permanently. He will always try to lolcow you and bully
Destiny's
you.
vindictive, though.
And attack you.
I mean, just personally, he's a vindictive
willing
person.
Participants in this process forever. There's a reason why so many people that have encountered Destiny who aren't still firmly within his orbit, never to get larger than him, mind you, because God forbid that would be terrifying, are always
that is a good call out that I haven't really thought of until he said it.
Victim to the same kind of cyber stalking and cyber harassment campaigns. Always looking at why other people are responsible for their favorite internet debate god being perceived as someone who is gross. Okay, this kind of man, that's it. It's literally the burning bridge joke for them. They wait for it and hope for it so they can go off and start harassing people. Yeah, it's a community that is entirely built around just like tackling his enemies for him. And it's ironic that like most people don't even.
Nuh-uh. Yeah, don't do that, Haas, because your community's pretty brutal too.
Touch it.
Yeah,
like most people don't even bother to
yourself.
turn Destiny into a lol cow when he is a target-rich environment for such an activity. 2-time divorce champion, constantly having a hard time like keeping up relationships with people because he's so
come
gross,
on, man, that's a low blow.
Rapacious little nerd, you know. But the real reason why most people don't even bother to
divorce champion
lol cow him in this way is because they don't even want to deal with the repercussions, drawing the ire of his community. That's it. Why are you projecting so much? Yes, brother, I'm projecting.
You are a little bit, Hasan. Okay, I'm sorry.
There's not much.
True.
There's not much else you can do in this process. Like a lot of these dudes, and many of them are in here right now, are straight up like they're straight up delusional. Like they will genuinely repeat the most delusional. Like they'll be like, "Oh, you're obsessed. You're obsessed with him." It's like, come on, brother.
You ever been on Discord? Come on, man. Where do you think that's coming from?
YouTube or my Discord, and then key search Hasan in his, and you will understand who's actually pathologically obsessed with the other person. And by the way, 2011 account. I know your ass is not.
It sounds like 2023 Vosh.
14 years old. You're fighting as a grown ass man. Another grown-ass man's battles, okay? In air quotes, fighting. Yes, you're going to destroy me in the marketplace of ideas with debate. Ay. Well, just did the key search and it's wild how many Hasan vids he has. Yes. You know what's interesting is that Destiny's community was trying this before the Israel Ethan recognized it and saw how insane it was. Interesting he joined them when they confirmed his own biases. Yeah. Him on Dr. K basically explains why in his community is like, that is so sad. I get why D was ignored all the time now on stream. Wild behavior from that community. The craziest part is, despite my best attempts of ignoring and hoping that like he will find some success in his life, and
I just saw his mouse cursor and it freaked me out.
He never did.
That was mine.
This has been ongoing for 5 years. And it's hilarious because it leads to shit like, Ludwig barely talked about him. His community swarmed him. Weird behavior on their part. They hate Ludwig now. And they were trying to debate Ludwig on how their favorite internet debate lord's vibes were unparalleled and unmatched. Like, think about that, man. What are you doing?
It was kind of weird to see Ludwig jump in on all this.
Like, you're trying to debate somebody else.
Covering that later.
On vibes? You didn't even you weren't there. You don't know what his own personal feelings on the matter are. Like, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? At Cheeseball Gate. Yeah. Or whatever.
Because he's trying to stir up, like,
are you gonna
backers
hate
for
on
him?
The human equivalent of a goddamn golden retriever, dude. That's insane to me. Okay. Ludwig is like mathematically the least hateable person. That's crazy. Like being like, no, I hate him because he's a
human golden retriever.
Boy, Hasan is like mind controlling him. Yeah, not to mention how we talked about cutie or slime. It's just all toxicity all the way down, you know?
All that said, I do have to pass the question off to you, though.
Jeez, I forgot
do
we were
segment
watching this video.
Like for the more general audience, I'd love to know your thoughts here specifically, right? Because this is just one chapter in a much larger saga of a fallout. But then also separately, for people that are a part of either of these communities, right? The H3 community.
D has decided that his entire existence is a calculated facade and that outrages him because he can't believe he exists sincerely. Huh?
The Hasan Piker community. There was some overlap for a while. I don't know how much exists now. What's your take on this?
Actually, to be fair, I have not really listened to H3 in a long time.
Whole situation, including where we are right now. And then
go to the comments and everyone's talking about the Onion buying the InfoWars. Your video on that drama is excellent and still relevant. Oh yeah, this was so funny, dude. Destiny's community is insane. Ludwig said Destiny's vibes were off and Destiny's community made a whole documentary about the situation. Like, you can't operate like that, man. You can't operate like that. That's not good for you, big dog. I promise that's not good for you. They made a documentary about it. I'm a stash hater, but the stash with the light beard looks killer. Thank you. Oh.
All right. We're at the end of that one. So give me 1 second. Where'd it go? All right. We're going to move on to the Ethan part of this after. All right. Yeah, actually, all right. So, real quick in summary to that, Hasan, he had a really, really good take on pretty much everything that Ethan was saying. And I do kind of feel bad because Ethan's video was the one that blew up first on my algorithm. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like an irresponsible content creator where I wasn't prepared with Hasan's, counters to this quick enough. So, all right. Ludwig situation. We'll just go right into that. I teased it for like 4 seconds.
Today's video is about Ludwig, actually, who made a video called "What is Happening to Twitch?" in which he explains what is going on with the ADPOKOLIPS taking place on Twitch right now.
Yeah, real quick. See, this is the new thing that Ethan has been doing is his little personal videos. Like, I was shocked when I saw he only had 340K subs. I was like, is this actually Ethan's channel? Turns out it is.
In this video, he somehow didn't mention me, Hasan, Israel IP block, or anything. It's like
he needs to rest his voice more. If he always sound like, because we just watched one that had a clip from him, like what, not even 9 months ago, and he sounded the exact same.
He's so afraid of
get sick,
pissing off the cool kids that are not going to let him sit at their table anymore. The stakes are a little higher, in my opinion, because by misrepresenting what happened, he doesn't help anyone. I mean, he helps Hasan. That's the only person he does.
To be fair, Ethan, hold on. Like that, maybe that's the projection right there. Is he's not with the cool kids.
This anti-Semitism issue right under the rug to the point where it's like, wow, you really don't care. You really do not care about this at all. So let's go ahead and watch a sliver of this mogul Mel.
He goes right into it.
See what's going on with Ludwig.
Well, first, let's talk about why they pulled out. Where did the
real quick, the fact that he called him the golden retriever of streamers, he nailed that.
Advertisers go. Do they hate Twitch all of a sudden? Well, the genesis of this, as far as I can tell, is when Asman got banned off of Twitch. Because you see, Asman got banned after making some comments about Palestinian people. Some very negative comments about Palestinian people. He got banned off of Twitch. And this sort of caused a domino effect where people are like, okay, you ban Asman for saying this thing about Palestinian people, but what about this person saying this thing about this people? And that
this person saying this about these people? Did you just yada 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 the whole anti-Semitism thing to protect your friend Hasan? How about having a Houthi militant on on Twitch mainstream?
No, that's not what he was saying.
One Piece and the
No, okay, yeah, this is a good comment, Rise. Ethan making controversy out of something completely uncontroversial.
He's up his fucking little Houthi cock with a flag flapping in the background.
Does he not have enough to do on H3?
Ludwig.
What?
Why did you even bother to make this video? You know what I mean? Just
real quick, he's got one of these things. These little things for his dog. I was actually debating getting one of those for my cats because I think that'd be hilarious.
You don't have to talk about it if you're too cowardly to explain it, really.
Because this is an issue Twitch has been dealing with for years, which is inconsistency in their bans. All right, they have their code of conduct, their terms of service, whatever. They have to ban based off of that, and sometimes it's not upheld consistently. All right, and so this became, you can see October 16th, the day Asman got banned, a very common trend. All right, you ban Asman. Well, what about when Frogan said this, crazy thing about U.S. soldiers? All right, and Twitch got basically controversy after controversy after controversy.
No mention of Hasan. Or me, frankly. Not to suck my own dick here, but I did a whole 3-hour episode dedicated in, meticulous 14 pages of meticulous thesising about why
Ethan, you've been doing that a lot lately from what I've come to understand.
thought Hasan was harboring anti-Semitism and all the various examples.
It is really weird what happens when you only get one side of something, like how it went with my Ethan thing, where I was just like, yeah, it does seem like Hasan just kind of went off the rails, and man, you want to talk about clipping.
Love it. I thought that was probably
man, I'm still
a big
bummed
moment
about this.
for this all as well, but he doesn't mention any of that. How can he not mention Hasan?
It's either taking too much or too little.
How?
And at first,
you know what?
This
I
is
don't
maybe
like.
just
I
some
usually don't like attacking somebody's like prescriptions or something, but in the chat, yeah, he's either taking too much or too little of what he's been prescribed,
like social media stuff. But then there was a concerted effort by people
I do know how that stuff can affect you, so yeah, it could very well be. As I said, I'm not very comfortable talking about that because
straight to the advertisers, all right? Because Twitch wasn't buckling. They weren't like banning other people for their comments based off the social media blow up. They were just kind of holding fast. They banned Asman. They're like, okay, we're good now. Please leave us alone.
That's, I think, somewhat true, but I think the underlining problem here is that they agree with the creators who they're not banning. They agree with Hasan and with Frogan, and it's an ideological decision. Like, it's not an unbiased decision to enforce the rules. This is them refusing to further other political point of views and identities that they agree with. It's downright corruption. It's horrifically bad.
That did not work. They were not left alone. Not only were they not left alone,
that's not fair though. Like with a streamer like Ludwig, you really are expecting too much.
Advertisers were not left alone, and this is one of the other genesis I can see of advertisers.
The weird part is I was giving Ethan the same kind of benefit because he's not necessarily a political streamer by any before even knowing Hasan, he would just kind of slightly comment on things, but he would barely cover, political news. So just lately he went head first, and now he's accusing Ludwig. Like, man,
now getting involved after the Asman ban. And here's a tweet that said, made a video of what you can do. It's a long video, so I'll just distill it. But basically, it was email the advertisers that Twitch worked with who were displayed prominently in sections that people viewed as like anti-Semitic. And get them
how
involved.
is Ethan that self-centered?
He says,
it really Twitch maybe being at the center of H3 for this long and having that many like sycophantic people. Although like that's the one thing I like about H3. That's why I even listened to it. It wasn't even Ethan. It was kind of the Howard Stern thing where you would start listening for like the shenanigans from the staff, and you would start liking the staff members even more than the actual hosts. So,
you do this cancel.
If he's doing that, then, oh boy, I could see H3 imploding pretty soon.
Culture, cuckfucks, and blueser shit, but that is exactly what happened. It was a attempt at creating an adpocalypse.
It's not an attempt to create an adpocalypse. It's an attempt to hold certain people accountable when the platform downright refuses to and runs ads on like incendiary.
That's you describing an adpocalypse.
Psychotic fucking content, right?
Adpocalypse attempt, very successful. Now Twitch tried to curb this. They tried to appease advertisers and also the Anti-Defamation League, who's getting involved.
It's very weird when you see somebody almost gaslight themselves.
And they banned several Arab streamers following a Habibi rating panel that was at TwitchCon, and you can see the sponsors are in the background of this. This was going viral. I promise you. All of these sponsors got thousands of emails in their inbox after this. And it worked.
This level of anti-Semitism is platform.
Just real quick to at least say to Ludwig, but that doesn't take away the fact that it was stupid. And if you are working with advertisers, if you are making millions off people that, if they're advertising with you on your Twitch stream or whatever the hell, then you got to have a level of responsibility there. Maybe not playing that type of, controversial game.
Formed on a main stage of TwitchCon.
The controversy did invite, more publication, because I actually saw, I didn't know who half those streamers were until that controversy. So
in front of these sponsors, I mean, what the fuck do you expect, man? Don't blame the people sending emails. Blame fucking Dan Clancy.
Yeah, he definitely went like
and his
Trump
team of
did on
morons
that microphone, man.
that did nothing to shield their ecosystem from this, especially considering they had so much time to learn from what happened to YouTube. Pure incompetence.
Yeah, I think I got the point, Farfus.
I was, and others were raising the siren about this event and this segment, which I found offensive and anti-Semitic. And Twitch.
His ticks get a lot worse when he's discussing this stuff. Like, just as a viewer, it is weird because when he's discussing just normal crap on his show, he might do like this, the hand one, and he'll do like the occasional, but like this is the most I've seen him like facial tick while discussing these types of things, and it's been getting worse.
Did nothing for several days.
Switch responsibility and money talks. Yeah, you know what? I have that very same opinion, Rise, where, yeah, it's the same with YouTube. You know what? YouTube TOS too, because I've noticed that, the larger streamers, they'll get away with murder compared to just like, I can't even have 4 seconds of a freaking, song before I get a copyright hit. So it's kind of insane where,
once again,
I know it's not the same thing,
Gold got
but
banned
I'm just saying that they have the power to enforce their TOS. So
immediately, rightfully, duly. However, when it comes to Frogan and her friends shitting on Jewish people,
YouTube drama guy,
shitting on Zionists, right? They need a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah, you know what? This is a good comment. H3 has always been a YouTube drama guy. Getting into internet beef is how this dude makes money. True. This is okay when it revolves around random YouTubers with no IRL impact, but I don't think it plays well. Well, and that's the thing. You can tell that this is personal. This is the reason that I think that Ethan is harping on this so much. On top of the fact that it's like, yeah, this did blow up his friendship with us. Hasan.
And I think, like when the ADL got involved, that's only when they finally suspended Frogan and all the other people up on the stage.
Cozy over there.
When a sitting congressman started writing letters, posting on Twitter, then they said, okay,
I don't know. So it's way too cozy over there. If they want those ads, then they need to have somebody stand up to the bigger streamers. That's true. And it's kind of like they're getting the comparatives to Kick now. And somebody made a pretty good point where they're like, yeah, they're trying to compete because they were losing some of their bigger names to Kick. So I'm not sure how much I necessarily agree with it totally, but
we should probably
make sense, right?
So there's currently in Twitch world a piss match, right?
Like
Hasan is blaming Asmongold for the ADPOKOLIPS for teaming up with people who he says, and Asmon is
looking at me and blaming me. I want to say you're welcome.
Yeah,
taking blame himself and probably talking about DEI again for the 100th time. If I had to guess.
Well, why do you have to guess? You're the guy reporting on what happened, right? Why we guessing, Ludwig? But certainly, Ludwig is making a lot of guesses in this video here.
Man, not to make the dog reference again, but this really does feel like he's kicking a puppy.
Pretty good. Hasan, he doesn't use baby wipes. He just calls Ludwig over.
What the fuck?
Where are we?
What? Dude, he's not even being that sycophantic. That's a fucking stretch and a half.
Anyway, Ludwig, cheers and all that.
What?
Appreciate you. But what? You don't have to make a video, right?
Yeah, neither do you, Ethan. Neither do you.
Because at the end of the day, what does this do?
Hell?
It absolves the actual perpetrators of this ADPOKOLIPS. It moves the blame over to somebody who wasn't really involved. And by doing this, you ensure that no real change is actually going to come to this platform, right? And this is just going to keep happening because you are so cowardly. You need so desperately to have the cool kid Hasan's approval that you are actually willing to throw the platform. And frankly, if I'm going to be a little over the top, your Jewish community under the bus as well, without mentioning even a tiny bit the main issue of this, which is anti-Semitism perpetrated by Hasan and his lemmings, his lackeys.
Dude, again, this is he really is kind of going down that here. I don't usually do warnings as far as like trigger warnings or something like that, but honestly, this one, This one kind of pissed me off. So this is the last one. I as far as going into the Ethan and Hasan
is Twitch's new update.
But I got to, real quick, I do have to give Hasan all the credit in the world here. He did handle himself really well, especially with this like latest update. Like, whoa. And dude, come on, that was an unfair attack to Ludwig.
Conduct policy. It's official. Twitch has said Zionism as a slur is no longer allowed, people. You can't just call anyone a Zionist anymore.
Oh, man.
I have some pretty conflicting.
Did I hear some lamentation in his voice? Like that sounded.
Thoughts on this change. Let me read it to you, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Let's see here. Our hateful conduct policy is designed to protect our community from attacks based on a person's protected characteristics such as race, nationality, religion, or sexuality. The policy prohibits harmful behavior by suggesting that a victim of harm deserved it.
Okay, so I was actually going to do this. I was going to read the Twitch policy, so I'm kind of glad that he's doing this.
Or sharing a hateful image or symbol. An image of hate. I'm really curious. Hateful image or symbol. Does that include the Houthi flag that says a curse upon the Jews? Because that is still up on Hasan's channel, just for the record. But maybe then it says Jews. It doesn't say Zionism. Maybe that's the new walk around. Like, yeah, no, fuck it. I said Jews, not Zionist.
Man.
The language used to cause harm and spread hate changes over time. So true. To ensure our policies adapt to those changes, we review them and how they're applied to prevent those harms. So admirable. As part of our hateful conduct policy, we prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur or to I'm having trouble with this word. Denigrate? Oh, denigrate.
Okay.
I thought it was, it almost made me say the N-word.
What?
I'm telling you, this denigrate word is dangerous.
You can't blame that on your Tourette's.
I almost said that, you guys.
No.
I would have been in violation of
No. Wait. Denigrate, and he almost said negrate, like... That's with a pretty hard E there, guys. So
this very thing I'm reading, unintentionally, of course.
Sorry, I'm stepping on his joke. Fuck him. That was a bad joke.
It can be used as a slur or to denigrate others in certain contexts. In line with that approach, starting today, using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual
right now.
or group of people on the basis of their background or religious beliefs is against our rules. We recognize that Zionist and Zionism also refer to a political movement. Using the term to refer to the political movement.
So how? Wait. So can they differentiate? Because the whole cracker discourse thing. Like I still don't even know how that works.
Critical way. This is not biased.
Yeah, how the hell are they going to actually moderate the difference between somebody saying, like, calling them a Zionist by actually saying, like, hey, you are a Jewish Zionist, and it's, do they need them to confirm it in their own, like, way and just be like, yes, I am?
Our hateful conduct policy.
Enough people will do that.
Our goal isn't to stifle conversation or criticism of an institution or ideology, but to prevent coded hate directed at individuals and groups of people.
Only use when it's used as a slur.
We include examples of the language we prohibit in our enforcement here. We want to make sure that our hateful conduct policy...
Again, how do they moderate that, though? Like, is it
continues to be flexible and yada, yada,
now I'm just questioning technology and how it works.
Here's my take.
Yeah. We need it, though. Yeah, let's go. Why not?
I'm pretty sure that there must be at least 20 VODs of Hasan's, of him using that word as a... Okay, here's my issue. Already, Twitch is not...
You don't get to do that. You don't get to do it. I'm sure there is. No, sorry, man. I get to do that because I'm a small YouTuber that, honestly, I'm not going to get that involved in your drama. But for you to not do that for your own, come on.
Forcing their own policies. The Houthi videos... of the propaganda videos of interviewing the terrorist kid, of the Houthis like storming this shipping boat, it's still up on Hasan's channel and he has not been punished. not even warned, as far as I know. It's kind of funny. They threw like his little waiting room friends under the bus, but he's totally fine somehow, even though this is really all about him.
All right. Well, this does speak to something I was talking about earlier, was the consistency in which Twitch does actually enforce its TOS. All right. Broken clock right now.
So they already don't enforce their policy, right? So
it sucks.
That doesn't give me a lot of faith. But then the other thing is,
I'm hoping that Ethan kind of, I don't want to say like comes to the light or whatever, but I do hope he eventually just sees where he was wrong in this, and he's just like, you know what, I'm sorry, I was speaking out of turn, kind of thing. I don't know.
So who's going to decide?
It sucks.
If the usage of Zionist is a slur, or if it's like a relevant label, right? Is it going to be the same people that are refusing to punish Hasan for flying a Houthi flag that says a curse upon the Jews? Well, he didn't fly it, but you guys know what I mean.
Dude, it was the One Piece kid, yes, and you are obsessed with that. And yes, I still think that was a dumb thing to do. I mean, again, I got in trouble for having the take about like, yeah, it was kind of Boston bombery, you know, when he was on the Rolling Stone cover kind of thing. But I don't know, like that. I don't like it when you just gave him the ammo and here he is. And for some reason, these are the communities that always run with that shit, and they just like Piers Morgan's community.
Enjoys. What about you
called him a Nazi? You called us Nazis.
Up Hasan Nasrallah. Nasrallah. He doesn't deserve me saying his real name, his name fully. He doesn't have that respect. He's fucking dead. He's dead. Now he's Nasrallah. Nasrallah. So who's gonna make
humor is freaking dark.
That call, right? Is it Dan Clancy's gonna be making that call? Who's qualified to make that? I know that everybody who works at Twitch is like mega Hasan simps, right? We've seen the videos of Dan Clancy singing him happy birthday and forcing everyone to participate.
100% confirmed to be a Houthi militant, or was he just a Yemeni dude? From my understanding, he was confirmed to be a Houthi militant, but again,
who's doing it?
Here, I'm gonna double check just to make sure before I speak on it, like with 100%.
The cultural background to say this one is racist and this one is okay. I'd like to know, because I think that's important, because as it stands, the people who are in policy, frankly, are clearly not capable of making that call. If it was like some Jewish advocacy group that was involved in these decisions, then I think like, okay, that might be legit. But as it stands, it seems to be a pretty hollow guarantee from Twitch trying to make these things smooth over, and I think it's going to cause them a lot of trouble.
Can't really find
I think it's insane. It's an insanely new policy, because it's like the word Zionist is thrown around on Twitch like, you know.
It says that he was part of two
with these political streamers, right?
Extreme acts, including boarding a ship.
Are they going to actually
this is on Reddit, so I'm going to take that one with a grain of salt.
And then they're going to get like massive tons of reports.
That's all I can really find on it right now.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I doubt that I don't even doubt that they'll ever even enforce that rule one time. Not even one single time. So yeah, empty, hollow. I mean, Hasan has been glazing up.
Glazing up. I mean, dude, you're the one who's been obsessed with them for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
He's like actually psychotic, and he's been making a lot of hate videos about me and calling Ela a terrorist and baby killer and all this. And Hasan's been enjoying his videos.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part. I thought he said Hasan. I was like, what?
Here's a tweet from him. You guys will enjoy this. It says,
bad empanada.
It says, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now?
And pulled
Where's
up for
the video evidence of it? I was looking to jerk off anyway. You think I'm kidding? That's a real tweet. That's Hasan's guy right there, boy. We love me some bad empanada. This is the guy he's been promoting. There's an active genocide going on, which is
People
receiving
being
crucial
massacred.
backing from the
Ethan's
U.S.
still
government.
mostly concerned about his own little
Like
feud.
President Joe Biden.
I mean,
if you are an American,
again,
these
yes,
people are within your reach.
But this isn't a parasocial one. That's why I keep like reiterating. I'm like, this is a broken friendship. Like, this is definitely like not scorn lover stuff, but it's definitely scorn friendship shit.
Incidentally, the U.S. is one of the easiest countries in the world.
Was that
to
a fake
buy
tweet?
gun.
Go figure. This is why I try not to use Twitter as a source, to be completely honest.
See
But
why
hey,
Hasan likes this guy. I mean, Hasan did tweet out the blueprint for the gun used to assassinate the former Japanese prime minister in response to a senator's tweet.
did he actually do that?
So, I mean, I guess I can see the overlap there.
It's messed up, but I mean, that
scientists
seems. I don't
everywhere,
know.
Anywhere are
That
combative.
doesn't seem like he
Actively
would do
spreading
that.
propaganda to enable a genocide. Their words kill. They must be stopped. So,
I promise
this
you, it's
guy
fake.
Thinks I'm like
It does.
the
I mean, that
epitome of
seems a little
Zionist.
out there, man.
And that Ela is like literally killing
Hila. I
babies
can
on
never
free
get her
time
name.
for
I
fun.
keep, man.
So when he says Zionist, and everywhere,
Hila,
combatants,
or because like I
he's
was calling her
literally-
like Ela, like Isla. Man,
saying?
yeah,
Right
I'm
here,
so bad
to
with
kill.
names.
to kill Jewish people, because let's be real,
The name is wrong. It's not even
Who-
doctored.
who's
It's
splitting
just a
hairs
fake
on that
account.
one? We can have a Twitch censor being like, no bad empanada, don't kill.
Bad
Ethan.
Empanada is an asshole. That's why he's
He doesn't
not called
follow
good
the term
Empanada.
Zionist as a political
Good one.
movement. It's just a slur when you say it to him.
I love me some
He's
bad
saying
jokes.
kill Jews everywhere.
That's a bad
Okay,
Empanada
well
joke. No, you do
Very
better.
cool.
Some of his videos are quite interesting, well made.
This
I
one's
mean,
really
to be completely honest with you, I did just bring up Bad Empanada's take on this, but
He says, just like Japan,
different
a nuclear bomb is needed to stop Israel. Yeah, good idea. This one you guys are going to like, and I can really see why Hasan likes him when I read this. 9/11 was an attack on a legitimate military target. Those within the towers were the soldiers of Western
Sounds like
financial
17-year-old
imperialism.
me.
And it was there that bureaucrats schemed and carried out operations to indebt other countries to steal the resources and bring them into ruin. The murders of countless millions had been plotted and dictated from within those walls. Yada yada. Its attack is just as valid as that one on the Pentagon. Yada yada. But yeah, he says 9/11 was an attack on a legitimate military.
I admire his sense of justice, but don't agree with him on many things. I'm assuming you're talking about Bad Empanada there.
And I mean, Hasan is the we deserve 9/11 guy.
I don't know. He's always had a complicated
I see why he likes
relationship
him.
with leftist.
But the point is
politics.
that
I thought
even if Hasan somehow purges the word Zionist from his vocabulary, which I doubt, he's still promoting backdooring people like Bad Empanada, who are genuinely sick, fucked up dudes, man. Just look into this guy, dude. I'm telling you, just Google his name. It's unbelievable what's going on here.
Realistically, I've known about Bad Empanada from watching Vosh, and I've heard, again, he's one of these guys that just gets brought up in these circles and occasionally, but he's never been one that actually his content was actually pushed onto me. So I've always viewed him kind of with an air of being in those communities. So it was always kind of he's kind of an asshole, blah, 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 blah. And then I watched one of 5 minutes of one of these videos just to get ready for stream. And I was kind of immediately, I hate to say, what? This guy is very, he likes to use hyperbole a lot. So, and that's, if you're not good at it as far as using it for comedy, then I don't agree with doing it. So, but that's a personal thing.
He said all Israelis are valid targets. Yeah. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, if I'm being honest. But this one really, I mean, this is what he looks like.
Who cares? See, now you're doing the thing. Guys, he's doing the thing. Because I think it's the beard, too. From what I was seeing, Bad Empanada doesn't really do the beard as much anymore or whatever. But he's doing the thing.
Charming guy. Oh, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now? Where's the video evidence? I want to jerk off anyways. Very funny. Very funny stuff, guys. So, in short, I'm kind of curious of how they're going to enforce it. It might be interesting just to see, you know, how they do it, because I think it's going to be mad.
To be fair, I made that same point where I'm like, how are you going to do that? Like, how are you enforcing
I don't
this?
think it's even going to be enforced.
I don't care what type of AI you're using, they still, like, oh man, they mess up.
Well, you know, maybe I'm wrong. But until then, don't you call me a Zionist on Twitch, you. I'll get you. Don't you be calling me a dirty Zionist pig dog. Inbred pig dog Zionist. You can say that, okay. Because Hasan calls Jews inbred a lot. I don't know if you knew that.
What?
I've got a couple.
Did he say it once, and was he joking?
You guys will see. I'm working on stuff.
He says it a lot, guys.
You know, in
He
the
says it a
basement,
lot.
we were tinkering. We were, hey, Ducky, look at him. So cute.
He is cute.
This is Ethan Klein, guys. In the basement.
That's a way to
giving you
That's a way to end
and
that.
I do for today. You guys like this format? I'm gonna try to do these more often.
I mean, it's
it's just a one shot, one.
I'm just
kill,
like,
bada bing,
do
bada
I?
boom, straight upload to the dome, like galaxy gas to the dome, dude. One shot.
This is the reason that I watched H3 though, is because it's like, we're about the same age. We use the same type.
What are you doing?
He doesn't need to be on the desk. That's a.
How do you even get up there?
Is you gonna do anything about
Look at
that?
this dog.
Oh, you're one
Thinks
of.
he owns the place. Ducky.
Oh,
what are you doing?
Although, I mean,
you think you own the place?
Oh, he does.
What's going on here, bud?
Definitely owns the place. That's why I'm not clicking off the video, guys. He did a good thing there. I gotta give him that. Or it's just like, you put the dog on camera. Give me a second here. Readjust. But yeah, Bad Empanada. I was just looking into that Keemstar. See, he's the same thing where I hear Keemstar and I'm like, who? You know, this is a little before my time, I guess. He's, I guess, a drama YouTuber who goes into, obviously, you know, leftist circles to kind of farm for drama content. So, that's all it really says. It doesn't even really say his political affiliations or anything like that, but that's where I'm always a little kind of like, okay, so this Bad Empanada guy, now he's all of a sudden the authority. H-Bomber guy, see, now that he at least deserves it, because like, dude, he's got like millions of views on his stuff, and he, you know, but he's also not really a streamer. He's a essayist, but he also delves into the online drama. You could argue that he's the reason that Illuminati lost her career. So, like, that did it. Like, she was already kind of doing it to herself, but that one did it. That was the final nail on that. But real quick summary on Ethan. I you know what? Now that I have all this kind of in like a full context, I take it back. I am glad that I watched that to kind of finish up this whole thing, because it really did kind of put it into perspective to me, like just how he is obsessed with this, and just like what type of, you know, emotions are driving this. Somebody had said earlier in the chat about like his medications possibly being off. Again, I'm not necessarily comfortable with saying that, but it does kind of, it stinks of obsession, and also just, I don't know, like he kind of brought it up, or Hasan brought it up, where he's like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't be, you know, online after all this, and he needs to kind of let go. You know, that's a big thing. Is, if, you know, I'm sure if he was in therapy, that's what they'd be talking about. And I'm sure he is in therapy. I mean, the guy's a millionaire, you know, damn near billionaire YouTuber, right? The guy's got like an empire. So I always assume those guys have way more money than they actually do. But, you know, I'm also one of those guys that's just like, how much do you really need? Like, I need another house that looks exactly like my other house that is just in a different spot. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, if you enjoyed the segment, leave a like. Actually, if you haven't liked the stream, do that, please. Really appreciate it. But yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already subbed. Trying to reach that 1,000. So I really appreciate it. This is the end of the segment. So I'll see you in the next one.